It's the early 1500s, and the Spanish conquistadors, driven by greed and ambition, sweep into Peru, their eyes gleaming with the promise of gold. They capture the Incan emperor Atahualpa, a revered Sapa Inca who offers them an unimaginable ransom, a room filled to the ceiling with gold and silver to secure his freedom. But before he can deliver it all, the Spanish betray him, executing the emperor and sparking a chain of events that would lead to the collapse of the empire and the secreting away of over $25 million of gold. For close to 700 years, this treasure has remained hidden, its secrets guarded by the Andes, and I believe, the depths of a sacred lake. I think I know where it is. The only problem? Getting down there and finding it. Let's explore. Let's set the stage. The year is 1532, and the Incan Empire is at its peak, a marvel of engineering, culture, and power. Stretching over 2,000 miles from modern-day Colombia to Chile, the empire is a vast network of roads, cities, and terraces carved into the Andes. They had no written language, yet their quipu, knotted cords, recorded everything from taxes to astronomical events. Their society was a blend of rigid hierarchy and communal harmony, with the Sapa Inca as both a divine ruler and a living embodiment of their sun god, Inti. Atahualpa, the last great Sapa Inca, had just emerged victorious from a brutal civil war against his brother Huascar. Their father, Huayna Capac, had died in 1527, possibly from smallpox brought by European contact, leaving the empire divided. Atahualpa, based in the northern city of Quito, clashed with Huascar, who ruled from Cusco. The war was bloody, fracturing the empire's unity. But after defeating Huascar, Atahualpa embarked on a reconciliation tour, traveling south to Cusco to solidify his rule. He moved with a grand entourage carried on a golden litter surrounded by nobles and warriors, unaware that fate was about to deal a devastating blow. Enter Francisco Pizarro, a Spanish conquistador with a small but deadly force of 168 men. Pizarro had heard of the Incan Civil War while on the Peruvian coast, a stroke of luck that gave him an opening. His band included 62 cavalry, 12 arquebuses, and 4 cannons, technology far beyond the Incas' stone and wooden tools. Inspired by Hernan Cortez's conquest of the Aztecs, Pizarro saw a chance to seize an empire. He marched to Cajamarca, a city in northern Peru where Atahualpa was celebrating his victory. On November 16, 1532, Pizarro staged a daring ambush. The Battle of Cajamarca was a masterclass in treachery. Atahualpa, confident and unaware of the threat, entered the city's plaza with thousands of unarmed attendants, expecting a diplomatic meeting. Pizarro had other plans. His men hid in the surrounding buildings, cannons and arquebuses at the ready. As the Incan procession filled the plaza, cannons roared, arquebuses fired into the crowd, and armored cavalry charged. The Inca, armed with slings and clubs, were no match for steel swords and gunpowder. In the chaos, Pizarro's men seized Atahualpa from his litter, killing thousands in mere hours. The Inca, a Bronze Age people, faced a grim reality. Sticks and stones may break bones, but swords and gunpowder can break empires. With Atahualpa in chains, Pizarro demanded a ransom that would become legendary. Atahualpa, understanding his captor's greed, offered to fill a room 22 feet long, 17 feet wide, and 8 feet high, with gold and twice that with silver. His people set to work, stripping temples and palaces across the empire. Chroniclers estimate that the Spanish collected 80,000 pounds of gold and 7,000 pounds of silver, one of history's largest ransoms, worth nearly $4 billion in modern terms. Gold statues, jewelry, and sacred artifacts poured into Cajamarca. But Pizarro's greed was matched only by his paranoia. While the ransom was being gathered, he sent a Dominican friar, Vicente de Valverde, to convert Atahualpa to Christianity. The meeting was a farce. Atahualpa, who was handed a Bible, reportedly threw it to the ground, baffled by its significance. Those good Spanish Catholics were outraged by his idolatry, accused him of treason, and sentenced him to death. On July 16, 1533, Atahualpa was executed, some say by garrote, others by burning after a last-minute baptism. Either way, his death sent shockwaves through the empire, creating a power vacuum that the Spanish exploited. The Inca, however, were not passive. Upon learning of the ransom, loyalists in Cusco decided to hide the remaining treasure. The Quechua people, descendants of the Inca, believed that if the Spanish found no gold, they might leave. Spoiler alert, that didn't work out so well. The Spanish marched on Cusco and faced little resistance, but much of the treasure, specifically the sacred gold sun disk of the Inti, vanished. This disk, described by chronicler Garcilaso de la Vega, was a massive artifact, likely 1 to 2 meters wide and 4 millimeters thick, weighing over 240 kilos. At today's valuation of gold at $106,000 per kilo, the disc alone would have been worth $25 million. The disc was stored in the Coricancha, Cusco's primary temple, which was the heart of Incan spirituality. Its walls were once lined with gold sheets reflecting Inti's light, and the sun disk dominated the main altar, a symbol of divine power. Today, a modern reconstruction sits at the temple. And honestly, the Coricancha is an incredible fusion of ancient, Incan, colonial, and modern architecture. But it also features megalithic stones that I believe predate the Inca by more than 10,000 years. If you want to learn more about that, I've got another video about the Ice Age builders that I'll link below. And if you're interested in visiting Cusco or any of these other ancient sites, now is the time to do so. Go while you still can, while you can still touch and climb on these ancient stones. I do offer private guided tours of ancient sites in the Andes, so visit my website, megalithicmystery.com/tours for more info. Link will be down in the description. Now, legend tells of a small group of Incan loyalists who, before Cusco's fall, fled east with the sun disk and other treasures. Their goal? Secure the fortune in a place the Spanish would never find it. I believe that place is Lake Titicaca, the highest navigable lake in the world, sitting at over 3,800 meters above sea level, spanning 8,000 square kilometers and plunging to a depth of over 500 meters. It's South America's largest and fifth deepest lake. It was sacred to the Inca and earlier cultures. Lake Titicaca is steeped in myth. It's actually said to be the birthplace of humanity, where the creator god Viracocha emerged after a great flood. It's also said to be a portal to the underworlds. Its islands, aptly named the Sun and the Moon, are sacred sites for both the Aymara and the Incan people, and a perfect spot to hide your treasure. Stories persist of gold-laden boats scuttled in the lake's depths. In 1968, Jacques Cousteau, the legendary oceanographer, explored Lake Titicaca searching for this treasure. They included his explorations in an episode of his hit TV series, The Underwater World of Jacques Cousteau. It's narrated by a man named Rod Serling, whose voice you might recognize if you're old enough, or if you're into old strange TV shows. Let's watch a bit.
August 14th. Beneath the rolling waters, a team of divers explores the ocean floor. Anchored in the swell, the ship awaits their return. Captain Jacques Cousteau keeps a weather eye out as winds and the sea rise. Underwater, the restless storm makes little impression. Tides and currents replace wind and gales, but they move in steady cycles, and the creatures of the reef adapt to their rhythms.
Why Lake Titicaca? Well, of course, the name is fascinating in itself, but that wouldn't be enough. For us divers, diving at almost 12,500 feet of altitude is quite a challenge. And we know nothing about the physiology of high-altitude diving. We know very little about the lake itself, as a matter of fact. The depth, the life there is, the geological origins. And we are also in Inca land. It means that all around the lake there are giant constructions and temples that may very well extend underwater. So we are going there to study human physiology, biology, geology, archaeology. And there also are legends. It is said that the Incas, when the Spanish arrived, have thrown into the lake very valuable gold pieces of art. Who knows?
I love that you see the smile on his face and the gleam in Jacques' eye when he talks about the possibility of finding the lost treasure of the Inca. I feel the same thing. Tales like this ignite a fire in my imagination and get me planning all sorts of adventures that I'll probably never take. And though he was unable to recover any gold, his team did find pre-Incan artifacts that led to the discovery of a submerged temple near Copacabana, Bolivia. Limited by the technology of his time, he was unable to get the treasure that he sought. So what's stopping somebody from trying to find it again today? Honestly, I don't know. A good place to start looking is around the islands, but the local government and the local people are usually not too happy about people diving and exploring around the lake. Though if you grease the right palms, a lot can get done in these countries. I'm speaking from personal experience. There are even several companies that make remote operated submersibles specifically for artifact recovery that are fully capable of handling these depths. At this point, it's only a matter of logistics to transport it to the lake and then spend the time looking. It might be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but this needle is worth $25 million. So if any of you know any rich guys out there with an itch to find some treasure and some cash to burn, send them my way, and we'll make history together. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Aaron, and this has been the Megalithic Mystery. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and check out the rest of my content here and on X. If you want to go visit any of these ancient sites in person, visit my website, megalithicmystery.com/tours, and send me a line. Big thanks as always to all my mentors, supporters, fans, and especially my haters. You guys keep me going. As always, stay awesome, stay engaged, always ask questions, and know that I love you.